the near fulfilment of the other.
It's Martinelli! It's the semi-finals for Arsenal! It's a glory night for them! They've come to Madrid and they've knocked the holders out!
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Hello boys and girls and welcome to episode 86 of fpl-bros. In this episode we are going to have a look back at our double Gameweek 33 scores, have a look forward to blank Gameweek 34 and also just have some general football chat. You know, the good stuff, yeah, that's what you all tune in for. So I'm a you know, just say whatever mood just takes me and just give it to you. That's what you all tune in for after all.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Okay, so double Gameweek 33, like a lot of players, I use my bench boost, and like a lot of players, it was a complete washout. If I'm going strictly by what my bench would have been, it managed to bring me in a massive 7 points. Like quite a few people, I brought in Macca because we all told he had injections in his toe and he's feeling fine and that he should play, and then he doesn't even make the bench in West Ham's game. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on Graham Potter and the information he gives me. Although, let's face it, at the moment, Bowen's probably the only West Ham player who's worth owning anyway. So, yeah, I mean, if this was a single game week, the scores wouldn't be so bad, but by and large, it was just really disappointing. Obviously, I took a gamble on Saka, and he got me the grand total of 2 points. I gambled on Sarr instead of Eze, and he got me a grand total of 3 points. Some people had Kyrgios instead of Saliba. Obviously they did well there, but it turns out the play, as we pointed out on Twitter, was Mbeumo with 18 and Trossard, who also had a massive score of 24 points. And I actually saw somebody who triple captained him, so well done to that person. Many other content creators also had a bit of a washout of a double game week, but hey, that's just how it goes. I captained Marmoush. He made 2 points twice, so I get 8 points out of that. And you know, they were all good decisions. Marmoush played for 2 games. He had his chances, but none of them went in. So a lot of people, as usual, are bitching about the bench boost chip, but frankly, it's done okay for me in the past. A lot of the time, I've managed to smash 100 points by using it in the double game week. It didn't happen this time, but again, the decisions were good. It's just the outcomes weren't. Oh God, I'm starting to sound like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Alright, so like we said in the cold open, the empires have fallen. There is going to be a new Premier League champion, which will probably be Liverpool, and there is going to be a new Champions League winner as well, which might be Arsenal. Who knows? One of the favourites, or at least they've got better odds than Arsenal, is PSG. They actually only recently lost to Nice in a Liga, so they're not looking as invincible as they were for the whole season up until now, basically. So who knows? Some people might argue that Arsenal and Liverpool are kind of evil empires of their own. After all, it wasn't so long ago that both teams' tight-fisted American owners were all in on setting up the European Super League until they backtracked and said, sorry, it's a mistake. But something tells me that it's not going to go away forever. Also, Arsenal charged the highest ticket prices in Europe, if not the world, and As for Liverpool, well, they tried to trademark the name Liverpool in the football industry so other football teams could use it, like the amateur team City of Liverpool Football Club. So anyway, I'm just sort of digressing here. We should be excited that there's a bit of a change of guard in both those competitions this year, although it's not as if, well, Arsenal have never won the Champions League before, but Liverpool have won the Premier League before. So yeah, it's a change of scenery. Let's see the good side in that.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. Let's face it, he's going to Real Madrid. But I found it interesting the way that a lot of people, particularly Liverpool fans, you big saps, tried to overanalyze his celebration when he scored the winning goal against Leicester. Oh, look at the way he's celebrating. A player who's leaving doesn't celebrate like that. Let me tell you something. Yes, they do. And it's not a question of celebrating to show that he's staying. To me, the celebration was a very personal thing. People have been talking a lot of about him, for example, saying, oh, how can you leave Liverpool? You're a scouser. You're just going to Real Madrid for all the money, blah, 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 blah. And he probably took that quite personally. And let's not forget that people were actually booing him when he came onto the pitch. So again, I think the celebration was him just reacting to the way that people have been talking about him and people have been treating him, particularly, at that particular time. To me, it's a way of saying, look at me, you're talking crap about me, but here I am. I am a good player and I'm a professional, and if I want to go to Real Madrid, that's my decision, and there's a reason why they want me. Look at what I've just done. So that was my analysis of his celebration. I can't believe people want to sit here and analyse celebrations. It's quite likely that once Liverpool actually win the title, then we'll get the official announcement that he's going, but they're going to wait until that's done. But that's how I analyse the celebration. So if you think the celebration was a sign of him staying, then you might want to rethink that.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Alright, before I go on to picks for the blank game week 34, I just wanted to have a quick give my thoughts quickly on the business of Cole Palmer. Now, I wasn't sure about this guy. I have kept him for a long time. I did get rid of him on my wild card when I was preparing for the bench boost, and I haven't regretted that one little bit. I mean, I actually got rid of him for Saka, who didn't do much better either, but it was a close thing. The fact is, Saka hasn't been playing. He came back. We weren't expecting Arsenal to do so well in the Champions League, and Saka could have had some points over the double game week. He did assist the assister for one of the goals. If Odegaard hadn't touched the ball, he would have gotten an assist. He looked pretty good to me, and obviously they're saving him for the Champions League, but I don't think it was a bad decision. Anyway, Cole Palmer. I've heard from some Chelsea fans that apparently he's been asked to play in between the lines a bit more, by that between the opposition's defence and midfield, sort of in little pockets of space, a lot like KDB apparently. Again, I don't watch Chelsea games much, but they've asked him to be a lot more creative in that kind of space, and so there's a change there. Now, many people who play FPL have decided that form, and I'm one of them frankly, form is not a predictor of how well a player is going to do. It is merely a description of how well they've done in the past. If a player is in good form or bad form, there's always other reasons that you should be looking at. For example, confidence, tactics, the individual instructions they're getting from their manager, how people around them are actually playing, whether they're playing a bad team or not. There's lots of reasons for it, and I think part of the problem with Cole Palmer is confidence, although that's something that's really difficult to measure, and the fact that he is probably being used differently. At the end of the day, it says to me that he's not somebody who's worth picking at the moment. Not that I'd never pick him again in the future, things may change, and there's obviously a good play in there. He's shown that over the past 18 months. But I'm happy enough to go without him because he's 10.6 million. And people are like, oh, he's a penalty taker. You've got to have him because he's taking penalties. Well, here's a list of other people who are penalty takers. Calvert-Lewin at Everton, Hurst at Ipswich, Vardy at Leicester, Paqueta at West Ham, and Armstrong at Southampton. All first choice penalty takers to their team. Would you pay 10.6 million to have any of them? No, I didn't think you would. So, yeah, frankly, I think that money can be better spent elsewhere. I'm quite happy. I don't think it's much of a risk not taking him anymore. There it is. And it goes back to what I was saying before, and I've been saying all season, Chelsea are not title challengers, and I've been proven correct in that. To be fair, I only said that really because their defence was so bad, but now it turns out that they struggle against teams they probably should be winning, and Palmer and Jackson. Also, it didn't help that Jackson was out for such a long time. But even before when he was playing, people were saying that he was not that good. He just happened to be the only one who was scoring with any type of regularity. Anyway, look, you've got me all steamed up again. One final thing I will say, he says again, is that a lot of people say, well, the good form comes back if you play bad teams. And Cole Palmer's played plenty of bad teams, and he still hasn't really done anything. So pick him at your own risk.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right, blank game week 34 picks. I'll start with the obvious one in Burmo, and going back to my most recent point. He is a player who's just playing well, and in many ways he's fixture proof. And I think the fact that the last few game weeks have shown that a lot of people got rid of him because his fixtures were stiffening up, and it didn't really seem to make all that much of a difference from his output. And obviously he just came away with 18 points. Now what I would say is that it's a fact that Mbeumo has been overperforming this season, but maybe it's just one of those seasons where he does overperform. We get that sometimes. Some people traditionally overperform, like Vardy and Son, and some people have seasons where they overperform for one season, and you have to be careful of that. And if you make the right choice, it's good, and then the following season they just go back, they revert back to the mean, where their numbers and their output are more closely aligned. But for now, I'm happy to go along with it. Particularly if you're on a free hit, we've all got bags of money to spare because Salah's the only premium that anybody's getting. There's plenty of nice cheap defenders and strikers to pick from because we're all targeting teams like Wolves and Fulham. That goes on to my second point, Sessegnon, who's available at 4.1 million at Fulham. Sessegnon, of course, he's a defender who's playing at a right winger, and he seems to be playing really well. His numbers are good. Now, people have said, oh, but there's a risk he might be sharing pitch time with Wilson, and apparently, according to Marco Silva, Wilson is coming back, and they're thinking of playing him, so he's not going to get 90 minutes. But I think it's worth a risk. Okay, every season, FPL throws you a bone. You just take it, all right? A 4.1 million defender who's playing in midfield and playing well and can get you goals and assists. Just take it, all right? Even if you're on a wild card and you're picking him for the rest of the season, pop him on your bench. That's what you need if you think he's not going to play. I think it's worth the risk. Even if he only plays 60 minutes, he could quite easily do something in those 60 minutes. Because he is playing Southampton, one of the worst teams ever to feature in the Premier League. And although they've kind of improved a little bit lately, Fulham could still get something from that game. And then finally, I love this outfield pick, and I've only seen him in a few teams, but when he first got signed in January, I thought, this guy looks like he could do something. And I'm talking about Menetzi at Wolves, who's available for 5 million. Now, apparently he kind of shares his position with Bellegarde, I think, and Cunha, in that they all play in a sort of number 10. There's two number 10 spots that supports the main striker at Wolves, who is Strand Larsen. Obviously, Cunha was suspended and now he's coming back. But Vieira also said he didn't want to change a winning team. So whether Cunha goes straight back in and starts, or whether he shares pitch time with one of the other two number 10s, we will have to see. It's weird, really, because Cunha is arguably Wolves' best player, but they've also played really well without him. So they've got a bit of a dilemma there. Obviously, some people are saying, "Oh, he's off," blah 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 blah, and and generally speaking, when people are about to make a big transfer, they kind of avoid playing him, especially if they've got nothing to play for, which Wolves really haven't, because you don't want them to get injured before they go to their new team. But I think, by and large, Premier League managers, Premier League players are all professionals. People really underestimate this characteristic of them, and as a professional, you do your job, you do well. You can't really just switch it off. You've got to be able to be in the mindset to win all the time, every time. No matter what the situation is, you don't get to be an elite footballer without that mentality. Although one or two notable exceptions have managed that. So Menezes, I'm very, very tempted by him. I think he's worth a look as well. I come to think of it, I really should have made him the cover star. But it's my boy Mbeumo, because sometimes we just like to play it safe.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Right, so that's it for episode 86. Thank you very much for listening. Hit like and subscribe, rate 5-star on your Podstar, really help us out. And don't forget to check us out on Blue Sky and Twitter as well. So hopefully this has been of some use to you, although it's coming out probably after the deadline for Blank Gameweek 34. But I'm wishing you green hours all round, and we will see you again shortly. Bye bye.